I was thinking about a Jackie Chan, and there's a film, possibly that documentary made called Cannonball Run, and somebody's struggling to open a packet of peanuts, and they're on the on the bar like that, and Jackie Chan sort of karate chops them, and the bag opens. I was at a Steamboat last night for the pub quiz, and my wife was really struggling to open a bag of peanuts, and she put them down on the little table thing we've got. It's one of those ones that's supposed to look like a beer barrel. And I thought that'd be really foolish if I did a karate chop on that, so I didn't. And there we go. You're listening to the Beat Motel Podcast, and I need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndiclus, bunty scrutux, angry flap, and foot biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on.
I mean, I don't know about you, Andrew, but every time we do this and I'm recording from the place I am just looking at the books that people can see behind me.
You're just looking at your own books?
Yeah, I was just looking at my own books.
See, I'd quite like to remodel this. Do you ever spot one and go, I don't remember buying?
Well, half of them are my wife's, so...
do you read your wife's books?
No, that would be intrusive.
Well, I sometimes I used to, but it used to really annoy her because she'd be laying in bed and reading, and I'd start reading her book out loud while she was trying to read it. She's not a fan of that. She reads miserable stuff anyway, like stuff where someone's going to die or something miserable's happening generally.
That's just life, Andrew.
Just life. I see the story of life out my own window, which I don't hear. I just see pigeons fucking occasion. It's too cold
nice.
today.
That's life as well. Pigeons having a nice old time.
Have you ever seen a baby? I know it's a meme or a cliche, but have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Surely they're just in the nest.
Well, no, because you get fledglings. You think seagulls, you get the white. I nearly said the C word then. You get the white ones, and then you get the brown ones. Then in Brighton, you get the pterodactyl ones that will carry off a small child. But
I know, yeah. We had because we haven't cleaned we have like this weird gate in front of a small window that we can open here. Because we barely ever use it because
it's too fucking cold in Helsinki.
Yeah. Last spring, we had a nesting there.
Oh.
It was really cool. And so we would occasionally check to see, and then we saw all these little mouths. Sort of, that was really nice.
I used to be a member of the junior ornithologist when I was very young. My godfather.
They won't allow you to renew your subscription.
No.
As a 40-something-year-old.
They said, look, you have the mind of a child, but the body of a middle-aged fat knacker, so they wouldn't let me join. And we set up a scope on one of the bird feeders. Like I never really understood the point of these things, but they're like half a binocular. I think they're more powerful. And we've got it set up on a tiny little tripod on the bird feeder, and it's so cool because you look and they're crystal clear, really, really clear, empty bird feeders. Now, they're always busy, but as soon as you crouch down, the birds are like, what do you want, you creep? And they all bugger off. So we sometimes get a lot of squirrels on them. They sort of hang upside down. They usually like fall off. So Emma's my wife's bought a squirrel feeder, because what they do is squirrels get onto the bird feed and we give them, they're mostly goldfinch, give them sunflower seeds. They just chuck them out, like, rather than actually eating. But this squirrel feeder, it's a box. It's got a clear front and it's got quite a heavy wooden lid. I say, well, how do they know how to open the lid? She's like, they'll figure it out. So ends ornithology chat. Well, squirrels aren't really ornithology. I saw one of them like scratching itself like a cat yesterday. I didn't know they did that.
Now it wasn't a cat.
Our cat always watches them like, oh. It's like, no, you're not going to get them, because squirrels are basically like cats in fast forward. Someone's just pressed fast forward button. Everything they do is very cat-like, just really fast.
Have you ever thought about being a biologist?
I interfere with my own biology sometimes, if that's what you mean.
I think that's just called wiping your bum.
Well, it's interfering with a natural process if you wipe, isn't it? Oh, that's just such a... It's a real meme thing on Reddit. Like, there's always every now quite so disappointingly often, there's a woman complaining that her husband won't wipe his arse because he thinks it's gay. Only gay people wipe.
What?
This one woman was
that's how you get Trump.
That's how you get Trump. This woman was like, I can't stand going down on him because the smell makes me wretched. God. If he's not wiping his ass, I can't imagine any part of his anatomy is completely spick and span. People just reply.
Why would you sleep with him in the first place? If he took off his trousers and the fucking smell, what?
Big old clag nuts hanging there. Just there you go. That wasn't bad. That only took us 5 minutes to reach the nadir in this episode.
Oh fuck me!
I think generally the people in the world, it's best not to consider what other people do because you're either going to be disappointed. You're never going to be like pleasantly pleased, are you? Well, I do like positive news. I like the positive news part of Reddit. It's always something nice, like man nods, other man nods back knowingly. That's not an example. I couldn't think of one. So listeners and viewers to Beat Motel might wonder why this music podcast, why we haven't actually talked about music yet. And it's partly because the theme this week is so piss weak. Okay, let's start off from
almost the colour of water.
It's you see, that's where I was going. I
think I tried quite hard. I mean, I went through several iterations of this list.
Oh, I found this very trying. Right, here's your riff of the week. New split single between Kate Bush and Paramore.
I don't know what Paramore sound like, and Kate Bush, I think I associate her with Hangovers.
When you let your heart breathe. That sounds exactly like that. They were one of those bands that they signed a 30-year record deal when Hayley Williams, the singer, was like 15 when she signed the record deal, and they've just got out of the contract. Sorry, that was completely an aside. Who was that, and why did you choose it?
So she's 45 now.
It might have been a 20-year, 25-year. I know they're just out of a crazy long contract.
That was Addo.
Good maths, by the way. Good maths.
That was Addo with Cura. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. She's a J-pop sensation. And I thought I'd ignore and eschew all ideas of my normal punk metal prog hating, but sort of side of things this week, and go for really left field things. And I quite enjoy some of her music. She always performs. She's a very interesting performance artist, and she only ever performs in silhouette. No one knows what she looks like. Her theme is like a vampiric theme.
Well, vampiric hedgehog, apparently.
No, what? This is your fucking AI thing again.
Should I just stop doing any research into anything ever?
Don't do research. AI isn't research.
That's done the research for me. It's the future.
Well, yes, but so it's going to be a blessing when we finally fucking kill ourselves with
the nuclear holocaust finally comes.
It's going to be like the people who survive are just going, oh, thank fuck that's over.
Or like the end of the world. What's it called? The last in the Cornetto trilogy, where everything's just gone. The aliens go, oh fuck you, world's end. That's it. That's what it's called. I'm sure I thought it must be named after the pub in Camden. Who can say? No, I quite like that. I'm a sucker for really lush production. I mean, it's not like Japanese Trevor Horn or anything, which I've never. That's too shiny. But there's some depth to it, isn't it? It's quite fun. I like that.
Yeah, I think the music is really busy, and I have to say my mind was sort of open to the whole. J-pop, K-pop phenomena because of the what's it called, the Huntress thing. But look, you don't need to go on to AI. You can just go on Wikipedia. She said that Kiss and Queen are some of her big influences. Oh, she's been covered in the West. She had an interview with The Guardian. What? Really?
Wow. I know the dad of the head of music for Guardian. I'm friends with him. Is that it? You're just gonna? That's the rest of the episode.
No, this is interesting.
This
is. I find this interesting. She cites a thing called Vocaloid as a massive influence. A voice bank developed by Krypton Future Media.
Oh no, I know about this.
Yeah,
my child was mucking around with it. You can make music with it.
Synthesizing technologies. What does it do?
It's like a little music box kind of thing. I've got a theory about pop, that we used to really be snobbish about pop, because I was thinking, actually, if J-pop's Japan, K-pop's Korea, what would it be? Ipswich pop, it'd be I-pop. And I thought, that sounds kind of vaguely horrible. Used to really look down on pop music because we thought it was dumb. We thought the music, the actual songwriting was dumb. And I don't know if it ever really was. It might have been simplistic just to get to a hook. But if stuff like Ado is massive now, that's not dumb songwriting, is it? It's pretty decent.
But I don't think pop was ever dumb songwriting. I think to me, it was never about it being stupid. It was always about it being synthetic.
So just lacking reality.
Yeah. The idea that the authenticity is in the underground, as it were.
I heard some recently. Do you know Josh Widdicombe, comedian?
Yeah,
he's got a new podcast called Museum of Pop Culture, which is, I think, is really, really good. It's really well made. They do, because it's about pop culture. A lot of podcasts or things I've heard like that will talk about something, and if you can't remember it, you're like, well, this is completely pointless. But the first 4 episodes of this podcast were about the rise and fall of Mr. Blobby and Noel Edmonds, and where he talks about stuff, they'll then play the clip so you actually hear it. And one of them was Saturday Morning Swap Shop. Do you know? You obviously know. You must know who Noel Edmonds is.
Oh yeah.
But kind of,
I thought his house party looked like great fun when I was about 10.
It was. Listen to the podcast. It's really interesting. But before that, he did Multicolour Swap Shop, which I can sort of remember. You know, the stuff from your childhood, you can sort of remember it being on. I can't remember anything about it. It had John Craven on it, but they had Margaret Thatcher as a guest once, and for the phone in, and this little girl rang up and said, if there's a nuclear war, where, if the nuclear strike, where will you be? And Margaret Thatcher goes, probably in London. The importance of nuclear weapons is as a deterrent, and it's because, and she just goes off on a politician's thing. When she eventually stops, the little girl goes, oh, I just assumed you'd be in a bunker. That's just something you hear, like the crew, like the camera crew or whatever, sort of gasping and then start laughing. It's just like this little girl's just like, oh, that's boring. Yeah, I recommend listening to that. But as a part of it,
does he laugh on it? I hate Josh Widdicombe's laugh. No offense to Josh Widdicombe, his laugh is grating.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he does laugh, so you might want to avoid that. And it's quite fun. There's lots of very strange things around Noel Edmonds, like his pet counselling service. Did you ever hear about that? So you could book an appointment, and Noel Edmonds would ring you up, and you put your phone on speakerphone. Only cats and dogs, apparently, and he'd provide positivity counselling for your pets. And he was on not Tim Vine, Jeremy Vine, although they are brothers, Radio 2 show, doing an example. And it's like, hello, Bella. Did you know there's a famous... You like fish, don't you? Yes, Bella, you love fish. And in the bigger scheme of things, that's really one of the more normal things that Noel Edmonds does. He is
So is it? I mean, this is completely. I mean, I hope people have turned off by now because this is just. Is it like a serious documentary, or is it this is really funny documentary?
It's not done for laughs, I would say.
Okay.
It's not LOL. It's
what's it called?
Museum of Pop Culture, I think it's called. And so it's done with, it's properly produced. That's what I mean. I'm used to hearing Josh Widdicombe and stand-up comedians on stuff where they're just sort of riffing. This is probably a bit more along the lines of The Curious Case of Rutherford and, is it Rutherford and Fry? It was Rutherford and Fry. Now it's Dara Bream and Hannah Fry. Curious Cases thing on Radio 4. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a proper made program rather than just this kind of shit. Ledman's also tried to buy the BBC. And when he was asked by Jeremy Paxman how much was the BBC worth, he said, I don't know. I have no idea at all. And then he sort of, in the same sentence, changes his mind and says that he does know, but he's not going to tell anyone.
Oh,
which is
Trumpian.
Is interesting. He's also followed around by 2 melon-sized energy orbs at all times, one on each shoulder. So I'll leave you to listen to that. Should we go for my riff of the week?
Yeah, please.
It's this. What do you think of that?
That sounds great.
I've never heard.
Does it speed up?
Does it speed up? Well, I don't know if you'd want to hear the whole thing based on knowing what I know about your preferences, because the time check for that is about 6 minutes. I was going to say 6 minutes 70. That doesn't work.
That's a good way to start an album. That's a shit way to be halfway through a 50-minute song. I tried listening to Richard Dawson's 40-minute song the other day. I got so bored.
I released an album years ago that was an hour long, or I think it was 60 minutes and 3 seconds. Piece of music, and I was asked to perform it at the Woodbridge Ambient Music Festival, and I was like, I can't. I literally don't know how to. It was just made in the studio, using the studio as an instrument. It wasn't that. It's just me prodding bits of software. So instead, I said I'd make a film. I thought, well, I don't want to make an hour-long film, so I cut it down to half an hour and spent the day making a film for it. And I sat there watching it during the festival and thought, this is fucking boring. This is so dull. I was looking around at the room as people were like leaving in droves, and I was just like, oh, what have I done? This is bloody awful. It was dull. Apart from one woman who sat next to me who said, did you make this? And I said, yes. And she punched me.
Was that your wife?
No, you think my wife would be there. People sometimes say that. Oh, does your wife go to all your gigs? Like, no, that stopped around 1995. Footy wore off very early on. Although she did come and see These Are End Times at the Baths in Ipswich recently. But I think only because I put her on the guest list. Well, I said I'd put her on the guest list. Turned out I forgot to put her on the guest list. So... Oh dear! I'm trying to convince the security that I was in the band, and I was. It's like the blaggers thing. Oh yeah, I'm in a band. Can you put these people on the guest list? And they were just looking at me like, who the fuck are you? But anyway, so that was. What do you call that? I'd call that kind of like doom sludge.
Yeah,
it's definitely like. It reminds me a little bit of sort of a slower version of. That lad from the Melvins, the bassist, what band did he do?
Big Business, yeah. It reminded me quite a lot of Big Business. But Big Business write fucking songs rather than just keep fucking just going on and on and on.
But singing quite similar as well. So it's 3 bands from what I can figure out. It's they're Swiss. So you've got a band called Zatakrev, I said that in a very non-Swiss way. There's a band called Bolzer. They're a duo who do sort of like play a bit like Lightning Bolt, I suppose. And the last one, I'm going to take a run at it, but it's Schmash. SCHAMMASCH.
Do you send me Bolzer? I got Extreme Metal Band Bolzer.
And the track is named after what's probably my favourite cheese. The track's called Red Storm.
Oh, is that a cheese?
Red Storm's wonderful cheese. Find out if I never smuggled any into Finland for you. I shall have to next time I come and see you. But there you go. The album came out last year, but apparently they finished writing it and recording it 3 years ago. So,
what's the album called?
Bring Mirrors to the Surface.
Bring Mirrors.
Which I like as a name. Some names like that, I'm like, oh, that's stupid. But Bring Mirrors to the Surface, there's something nice about that. There's something slightly
yes, we do very clever wordplay. Sato Krev, Bring Mirrors to the...
I'm going to give it another listen. It's one of those. It's a Tidal recommendation. They tend to be quite good. Right, we are a third of the way through the episode, and we haven't talked about the theme yet. So, Sam, what is our crappy low effort theme this week?
Music. Music is our theme of music. No, water.
Music. That's probably going to happen now that we've said it. The theme is water, which I think I suggested as an offhand joke comment in the last episode. Well, actually, the last episode was with the amazing Drew from Citric Dummies, which was just bloody great. But here we are. The theme is water. Got anything intelligent to say? Shall I just play your first choice?
Well, no, it's just like, it's interesting how pervasive. I mean, this was obviously a dumb joke that we had between ourselves. But music is sort of like, there's so many ways water comes into music. It's very interesting. And it's both, like things that come out of our body and things that are on our body. And it's also bodies of water. And it's also where smoke is. I personally, I just went for really different choices to what I normally go for.
So did I, because I thought it'd be a difficult one to do, but in reality, once I actually sat down and started thinking about it and creating the clips, it was actually, as you say, it was so wide open. You could pretty much, this is like when I did the Peel Sessions episode, you could have a podcast just on this topic, I think. There's so many, it just goes everywhere, doesn't it? So let's just as I was saying that, I remember there's a hardcore band called H2O, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. That's a good one. That would have been a good one.
Yeah, we should have done that. Anyway, here's your first choice for you to listen to and regret. So this I've just found out, this contains a mondegreen. Do you know what a mondegreen is?
No.
Mondegreen's a misheard lyric, but it's one that like a lot of people mishear. So it's not like a comedy mishearing. It's something that, a lot of people would agree, yeah, that's what I thought it was.
What happened to the chorus? Why did I swear I put...
Or did I get the wrong bit?
It doesn't really matter. Everybody knows what it is.
So the mondegreen for this is Jason Waterfalls.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was...
Oh, you really did? Don't go Jason Waterfalls.
Oh, I thought it was Go Jason Waterfalls.
Oh, this song's so corrupted for so many ways in me. Whenever this was played, when it was played on Radio 1, Mark Radcliffe they used to refer to one of the members as Lisa Boz-Eyed Lopez. So every time,
sorry, that's a bit cruel of them. That's not.
I hope you didn't just say the word. I think you did. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it.
I stepped back from.
You stepped back from the brink.
But that's a bit shitty. I always hated what's he called, Frankie Boyle, when he would bang on about what's he called, Gordon Brown, for having bad eyesight. Like, you're taking the piss out of a guy's disability rather than his policies. What? And you call yourself, you keep telling us that you're, this right on left wing comedian. Fuck you.
We're a bit past that, aren't we? I mean, even for shock value, I think people like Jimmy Carr, Jimmy Carr's always is basically a scholar of comedy. So he's always trying to find the edge, and he pulls back from stuff like that. It's just it's a bit 70s.
No, Jimmy Carr is a massive C word though.
So that was Waterfalls by TLC, which, tell us why you chose that. I mean, what's the connection with water?
But it's we shouldn't just look at the connection of water. I don't know what the metaphor "don't go chasing waterfalls" means. But it's actually. I was surprised when I was listening to it by two things. One, that the bass is a real bass. I always thought it was like just going to be a synth sort of thing.
Quite often is in that period music, yeah.
Yeah, but I would imagine it's sort of, and it's so over sort of produced, the bass sound, to be like, it has very little. It's all just. But it's like classic R&B bass, actually, in many ways. I was a bit surprised by that, but also like, the song actually has a depth to it. It's all about, sort of, it's all about having a bit of a rough life and then sort of leaning into it, I guess, in a way.
The video, I'd never seen the video, and the video appears to be a mother worried about her son joining a gang or getting involved in something like that. Do you know it's got backing vocals by CeeLo Green on it?
No, I did not know that.
It's also weirdly pops up in the Umbrella Academy in quite a significant way. Did you ever watch the Umbrella Academy? It was Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. It was a comic series originally, then it became a TV series. It's pretty good. It's pretty good if you like that sort of thing. But they sort of accidental time travelers, and they go back to, it's a really hard-hitting series, actually. It's kind of funny and weird and comic book. But they go back to Dallas, Texas, the year that Kennedy was assassinated. And there's a lot of stuff really confronting the racism of the time, which it was quite difficult to watch. But then in a weird sort of comedy side to it, one of them who's a bit sort of whacked out, is a bit of a sort of a hippie character, ends up being a cult leader. Each time he speaks to his cult followers, he's just using lyrics from TLC, including this one, which is just odd.
Does he misquote it as well? Does he?
Jason Waterfall. So you say we're not educational. You've learned what a mondegreen is now.
But going back to something that may or may not be cut. I don't really get why Jimmy Carr is so forgiven by so many people in the UK. He's so far part of the comedy establishment, they can't get rid of him. He's like the Nigel Farage of comedy.
Jimmy, so you're saying Jimmy Carr's the Nigel Farage of comedy?
Yeah.
That is a hell of a quote. And that's going to be printed on the front of the Sun. Right. Are you ready to move on?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so here's my first choice. Fucking hell, we're 29 minutes in. Here we go.
Doing well.
Do you know who that was?
It sounded a bit 80s countries-ish. I don't know.
I've got a horrible
Indie?
feeling I've chosen this about 8 times since we started this podcast. Well, it's a song by a band called the Stone Roses.
There's not a lot of lyrics in it.
There's not a lot of lyrics in it. Like, same with TLC, I chose the one bit that didn't actually mention the name of the song, thereby kind of making it a really bad choice. The song's called Waterfall. And I chose it because waterfalls are made of water. Your choice is actually quite nice. Should we just move on to your next choice?
This is what I mean. I thought about the choices like, oh, there's stuff to say about them, and you just typed water into title, didn't you?
Oh dear! Right, look, I'll go straight into your next choice.
Good bass playing. Come on. Good bass playing.
It was passable. Some solid hull boats, right? If you make a wooden boat, obviously you make a wooden frame and you put shiplap on it and then all that. Some solid hull boats are created with a massive mold. It's a huge mold. They can be really, really large. And they work by vacuum molding. So you get, they have to pull maybe like tons of plastic around a mold. So the amount of suction required to build boats in that way is so massive, and yet it doesn't suck as much as that song.
I quite like that song, but I was like, that's the only Aerosmith I've ever got into, and I don't know how old I was when it came out. It was everywhere, and then it had really creepily, the video has Steve Tyler's daughter in it as like full on sex object aspect to her. Yeah, it was really creepy.
Didn't see that bit, but just the whole it's got that kind of Shakespearean yearning kind of acting with Steve Tyler, and just
but I mean the bass playing, like, pretty good, there's not a lot to play with, and they were the bass player held back, I thought, quite restrained. And then I always like the octave thing. I always like when someone goes up the note, the neck to build up to something. I'm a big fan of that in bass playing, and I don't think enough bass players utilize that aspect. But if everybody utilized it all the time, then it would be, not that interesting. The theme of water comes into it because when you cry, they are wet and at least partly made of water.
They are partly made of water. What else are they made of? Salt?
I guess so.
Salt?
Yeah.
Sometimes my Ipswich accent slips out. Salt?
Salt, Cheetos, cheese.
Crying your Cheeto-y cheesy tears.
Exactly, yeah.
I think
I also like very confusing. Aerosmith, the song on that album, I think, is called "Eat the Rich." It was always very confusing to me for a band that is so
rich,
blatantly rich. Yeah.
That video also had Alicia. I think it had Alicia Silverstone in it.
No, that's Liv Tyler.
What?
That's Crazy. It's the video for Crazy.
I did choose the right song, though, didn't I?
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy doesn't necessarily have something to do with
water.
Water.
I think it does, because when you freeze water, it gets bigger, and that's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
It's just cray, because it's like, science is wild.
It's weird to put crying video.
Crying video.
Aerosmith.
Your wife's gonna on your wife's computer, she's like, go to look at YouTube history, like, why is Sam watching people cry?
My wife doesn't go to YouTube.
No.
So she goes to Instagram.
I always thought Aerosmith looked like a band that must have had a glory day where they rocked really hard. But because it only came into my consciousness when they did that, I can't remember if it was a cover or someone wrote it for them. There was something about, there was a film with an asteroid coming to Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, they look like a band who's just cashing in now. They must have rocked hard at some point. I've seen no evidence that they did.
Oh, yes. So Steve Tyler and the guitarist were known as the Toxic Twins because the amount of drugs they used to do. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, Steve Tyler, it might be a misquote. He said we weren't musicians experimenting with drugs. We were drug addicts experimenting with music.
Yeah.
It's a good quote. I mean, that's I do like a little flippity round.
I tried to get it. They just I tried to get into them at points because I do like me some hard rock. I do like some hard rock. Me.
Is that hard rock?
Well, that song is a power ballad, but they do generally have known for their hard rock, and soft cocks because of the drugs.
All right, I'm going to go for my next choice. Here we go. I love that the vocals on that just get more and more. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I didn't press stop quick enough. That should go away in a minute. There we go. Fuck. Mom and Dad. That's the worst prepared clip I think I've ever given you.
And no, last time we did this, I gave you a 24-second song and you started recording the beginning of
the next track.
Yeah.
I really need to pay more attention.
No. Let's like. I
find it charming.
I understand if you want to edit me. I find it quite amusing that someone would want to edit someone being nasty about Jimmy Carr, considering what was it? What was the last time he?
Especially, it's become like a theme now. A motif. It's become a motif for the episode.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr faced significant controversy over a joke of his Netflix specials, his Dark Material, where he made comments about the Holocaust.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, particularly regarding the genocide of Roma and Sinti people. So, like, I don't know. To me, he's someone who keeps getting forgiven, even though it's a bit like Phil Anselmo. He keeps doing these things where you go, come on, the guy's obviously got some particular issues. Why do you keep giving him a platform? And then he keeps getting on like these massive position. He keeps getting these massive positions, and it's like, I don't know. Oh, it's what a shock then that Donald Trump
became president. Quite.
Yeah.
No, Holocaust is too much. That might be the biggest understatement I've ever made.
But how nice to listen to Nirvana, like one of those bands that are so central to one's teenage years that you never listen to them really. You hardly ever put them on again after one is a teenager.
So what's
or
the
when
link?
I was a teenager in the 90s, because I'm old.
That Nirvana song, what's the link to water?
Territorial pissings.
And piss contains Cheetos, water, saline.
Sometimes it really does stink of other things, though.
Well, there's the obvious asparagus.
I had a wee last night in front of my child, and he went, "What's that smell?"
I remember my dad's piss being really beefy when I was a kid, like wandering, grew up in a bungalow. That's going to be a clip that ends up. But
yeah, and are you going to send it to your dad?
Grew up living in a bungalow, and the toilet, the only toilet in the house was next to my bedroom. I can remember, even middle of the night, kind of him going to the loo and going, "Oh, fucking hell, what is that?" The worst thing is I probably smell worse now. One of those like dehydrated ones that makes it look like you've been drinking Barocca, but you haven't.
I have to say,
go on.
Yeah, men's toilets.
Just like men's public toilets. Do women's toilets also smell like that? Because the smell of piss in like public. What
I have to say,
people eating and drinking?
One of the things I'm always sad about leaving Helsinki compared to the rest of my entire experience in Europe is how shit the public toilets are compared to the Finnish ones. They're so good here.
I am astonished. I want to talk about this because I tried to take pictures one time I was in Helsinki. So you go into the cubicle, and I can't remember if they can't be unisex because of what I'm about to say. So I went into a male one. The first thing that I saw, which I thought was cool as shit, is they've got sharps disposal flap, which is just so aware and so knowing that I think it's really positive. But then one of the problems with urinals or any men's toilet is that men appear to be completely unable to piss in a straight line. Well, it doesn't go in a straight line, so it curves down. And the ones in Helsinki, basically, look, we're aware of that. So it's basically like a funnel that's about 1 meter wide and 1 meter high. If you can't get your piss in there, then you should just stay at home in your piss-soaked trousers.
But even in like the really shitty venue toilets where they do have troughs, everybody still washes their hands afterwards and dries them. Like, just everybody.
It's so normal in this country. I was at the pub last night. See people, you can't, unless you're completely cavalier, you cannot go to the loo without handling your lad. And you then people zip up and pop it, pop back out and they're touching the handle and just want to go, you filthy bastard. I went somewhere once, and I'm not going to say where it was because somebody might know. It was somewhere where people work.
And God, I think you told me that.
I might have even mentioned on the podcast before, but
this is circling back to our original discussion, I feel.
Possibly, but yeah, I was using the urinal. I could hear someone volubly having a shit, and he came out without washing his hands and just went back into the world. And I was just
maybe he didn't wipe his ass.
What? Because it's gay. To go back to an earlier thing, just
exactly.
In case this comes out as its own clip.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was saying about Nirvana. I love how utterly unhinged the vocal performances are. Sorry, are you going to take it back to ship?
No, I was just no. Yeah, keep going.
Are you filtering? You bring yourself back from the precipice again?
No, yes. I mean, evidently, I don't think very fluently. It's sort of in farts and burps.
Let's go for your next choice, which made my knees feel a bit funny, I'm going to be honest with you. God. That's that. If your Victoria Sponge has got someone singing a song about. Oh man, what was that?
That was Janet Jackson with the song "Moist," and the lyrics. I mean, like.
There you go. We've hit our peak. That's the best way to describe that. Is just to make that noise.
You're feeling in it. You're tickling it. Yeah. You're swimming in it. Yeah.
Swimming.
You're gonna get it. Yeah. You're gonna get it moist. I'm insatiable, and it's all your fault. So much lust involved to get me off. My water falls. Your sexuality breeds a storm inside me. Seas. As in, like, big bodies of water. Seas. A touch is all I need to make me scream obscenities. Oh, seas is rhymed with obscenities.
Of course it is.
I mean, like, this is like, it's quite. So Janet Jackson, I feel, doesn't perhaps get the due that she's deserved a lot of time, but at the same time, you sort of go, where's your But, I mean, what point were you so desperate for attention that this seemed like a good idea?
Well, she has personas, apparently. This is part of her strawberry persona. But this is also... How did you even know this existed? Because I'd never heard it in my life.
I put the word moist into title.
What were the other options? Were they all about cake? What's the difference? How can you tell if something's just damp or it's moist or sodden? I think sodden is probably if you could wring it out. If you can wring out your Victoria sponge, then it's sodden. Sodden. It's not
a bit too gluteny, I would imagine.
It's not moist. Yeah, that was really something else. So what?
You're swimming in it.
What were the other choices then? If when you search for moist,
I do a search now.
I want to know. I don't know why, but that's the one you just went. Yep, that one. That's the one.
It was so grotesque, frankly. I mean, I'm like, "Moist Vagina" by Nirvana.
Okay, Nirvana.
"Moist Uriza" by Wet Leg, which I like. There's a band called Moist. "Moist" by Eric Bellinger and K Camp. "Push" by a band called Moist. "Moist" by Janet Jackson. This one sounds good. "High Pitched and Moist." Come on, that's going to be good.
High Pitched and Moist. I forgot to hear a bit of that. I've just thought we could have had that Swedish band Burst as one of the choices. That's disappointing.
Sorry, Sammy T. That's disappointed.
Right. I think we're going to have to move on to my... Oh, bloody hell. Oh, no, I just did my... No, it was your choice. It's Janet Jackson, wasn't it? So this is my third choice.
Great bass tone.
There's a lot about that I really like. I mean, the guitar, I'm not really a fan of guitar solo. You know, they have their play. Don't get excited about them, but massive restraint from the Hammond organ there. Do you hear it just keeping it going? But also the drummer as well, doing like a little like paradiddle thing. So do you know the band or the song? You alluded to it earlier, actually, right at the start of the episode.
Smoke on the Water.
It's Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the Water. I just remember a friend of mine traveling in America for a long time. He said he'd realized after a few days he had to say water instead of water. He asked for water in restaurants and they'd just be like, what? So that's Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. And every time I hear a bit of Deep Purple, I think I should listen to more Deep Purple.
Well, yeah, I actually think that's one of their worst songs of that era, frankly.
I think it's probably the worst song on the album it's on.
Yeah. I sort of, I don't really, I get the riff is good, but and the lyrics are a bit crap. And
it's about something catching fire, isn't it?
And they all gone off to see Frank Zappa play some thing in Switzerland, and the casino catches fire or something like that. I mean, and there's a lot of amazing stuff from Deep Purple from that era, and I don't really get why Smoke on the Water is the thing that everything circles around to.
It's probably just gets so easy to latch onto, isn't it? Yeah. It's such an easy thing.
The chorus is good, but Ian Gillan, it's an amazing voice. Particularly that era. He did some stuff with Black Sabbath, which I keep wanting to dig into. Let's find.
He have you seen the video for that? So the Deep Purple, I quite like the bands are doing this.
Ian Gillan.
That's it. So Deep Purple have made a video for this. I mean, it's probably not that old. I'm going to have a quick look at when it was released because it's on this is where I ripped it from. So the video, they made a video for this a year ago, okay? And it's an animation, and I'm going to include the link to the video in the show notes because it's actually kind of wild. It's quite a cool bit of animation, and it's kind of cheesy in that sort of we know we're being a bit cheesy way. So that bit with the solo, Richie Blackmore, they're basically on it's a bit Mad Max, on this huge vehicle flying along through purple stuff, and the singer Gillan's driving with his head out the window so you can see his hair flapping around. And when that solo comes on, a hatch opens on the top of the thing, and Blackmore comes out playing the solo like with a big those hats that the Pilgrims wore when they went to America. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I gotta say, it's I'm not going to watch a video of smoke and water and expecting it to be life changing or kind of insightful in any particular way, but it's a fucking entertaining video. I like it. Right, so that was my. Can you guess why I chose that one? Again, I managed not to clip the one bit that says water.
I mean, have you clipped any lyrics this time round?
All the ones about
For
being
yourself?
moist, the moistness, that was all very much there. Oh dear. Right, we are running out of time, so I'm going to play your final choice, which is this one.
This man was getting high. I got no strength to make him stop. I guess it's too late, but I'll know next time to mix some water with the wine.
I like that. This is an artist who I've got a lot of respect for. When she played the Regent in Ipswich, which is it's the biggest seated venue in East Anglia, apparently, got local people to support, which is that's just cool. That's cool, isn't it? That's cool.
Yeah, this artist Joan Armatrading, who I'm really not familiar with Water with Wine, the song. I first, again, frankly, that was a result of putting water into Tidal. I first read the lyrics, and I first heard the lyrics and went, shit, is this about date rape? And then I went, no, it's about a drunken shag you forget, you regret. You wake up in the morning and go, that's a good idea.
You know, neither of us have done that. It's just like clearly something we have no experience of whatsoever.
Which is perhaps why I can't really relate to the lyrics that well. But I thought it was very well produced. It sounded lovely. Good sound to everything. Great voice. Very well written. Very interesting. I like lyrics with a bit more of a sort of a question for the audience, and I think Go Go Jason Waterfalls and Water with Wine both have that of like question your lifestyle. Look where it's getting you.
It's got. This has been corrupted for me as well because I can't remember who. Somebody once heard I once heard somebody call it Joan Armour plating. That plays in my head every time she's mentioned. But I can't really think of many artists who fit this bill. Knowingly gentle and calm with themselves. There's sort of an air of not arrogant confidence, but like real being at peace with the songs you're writing and giving them space and presenting them in a sort of very calm way. The only other person I can think is Tracy Chapman for a similar kind of. You hear Tracy Chapman sing anything, which obviously she wrote, like her big hits were quite a young age, and you think, how has that song not existed for 50 years? You know, how has somebody made that only now? That sounds like it should be something that has always been a part of the world.
Well, that sounds like that's sort of a similar story towards was it Paul McCartney's Yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah. Why didn't that exist before now?
Yeah.
Have you seen the film Yesterday?
No, it looks atrocious.
It kind of is. it's like some interest because it's filmed around where I live.
Danny Boyle, isn't it?
No, it's Richard Curtis. Or Richard Curtis
Curtis.
was possibly the director. I don't know.
Oh, Danny Boyle, who I think used to live near where I lived in London when I lived in London. Who, frankly, I don't know. I don't really care about anything he's done since Trainspotting.
Okay, so I think we've dragged as much as we can out of Joan Armourplate in there, and I'm going to play. It's not actually my last choice, and you'll find out why, sure. So squidgy.
Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
So yeah,
that song makes you moist.
It's I managed to leave out the bit that actually mentions the reason for including it. So that was a song by Toto, but not performed by Toto. It's performed by Weezer.
Yeah.
So
that version, the Weezer version.
Yeah. So Rain in Africa. Is it Rains in Africa?
Yeah.
It's just called Africa actually, but it's got the refrain. I miss the rains down in Africa. But I chose it for the water-related theme because if you have a really bad cold and your head's sort of full of snot, which is partly made up of water, it can make you a bit wheezy. So I chose Weezer for that.
What's your next choice?
Oh no, my next choice isn't a choice. It's kind of a talking point, really. So I like that version by Weezer, but I kind of don't like the video. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't listened to any Weezer since 1997.
The video.
That's not true.
The video just shot in a studio, studio camera, and they're doing that thing where they speed up. I've done this making music videos for bands. You speed up the backing track. So the band has to play along like really, really, really fast. And when you set it back to normal speed, it makes everything sort of syrupy and goopy, and that's a cool effect. But there's something about the video that Rivers Kimono just really looks like he doesn't want to be there. And he's always quite kind of restrained. Like I saw him play at Glastonbury on the telly. I wasn't there because I'm not a moron. And he's always sort of fairly restrained and not exactly ebullient. But on that video, he literally looks like he's just one glance away from checking his watch, which might be the point for all I know. So, do you know the story about how Weezer covered Toto?
I don't really care. Isn't it just? Because it's such. I don't like the song to begin with, and isn't it just like it's note for note? So I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't really get it. But my final choice, I'll play it and it'll probably explain itself. Here you go. Unfortunately, the only version of that I could find was filmed on a potato. That was Toto covering Hash Pipe by Weezer, which I thought when I was preparing these clips made me look awfully clever, but I've realised it probably doesn't. And I'm fine with that. But I just like the fact that Toto did actually a passable cover. That sounded all right. That sounded
Why were
cool.
they covering Weezer? They just wanted to feel relevant again.
Well, I think Weezer covered Toto because they just said, put something out on Twitter or something. What do you want us to cover? And people were like, oh, you should cover Toto. So they did. So I like the fact Toto heard that and went, well, if you're going to cover us, we'll cover you. But the video, they really look like how you'd expect Toto to look. It's all kind of synths and they all look like they're socially distancing on stage. Actually, they're all really far apart, unless there isn't enough band members to fill the stage. But that was it. The little light has flashed on my timer here, which means that the episode shall draw to a close. What do you think the highlights have been?
I stopped listening after I said stop listening.